2025 has been an extremely difficult year to properly assess, and in the confines of the culture war we're talking here for a second. On the face of it, a lot of things have flopped that have been overtly agenda-driven. Snow White flopping spectacularly at the box office, several video game developers laying off huge swaths of their staff after putting out just absolute trash products, companies that were used to suckling on the DEI, ESG cash teat getting swallowed up and purchased by Chinese subsidiaries. Not exactly like that's a step up or an improvement, but they have all been slapped upside the head and forced to get out of the activism game and then just simply get back to entertaining now, because like I said, it's a very difficult year to properly assess. Now what we're left with, especially in entertainment, is a bunch of people that all they know is politics, all they know is pushing their agenda, and they lack the talent to make good entertainment. So it's very much been a year of slop, and I think that that's about the high point of praise that we can offer, because on the other side of this equation, yeah, things are still as bad as ever, because there was another story that perked up. Oh god, what was this, a late spring or something like that, but the Shiloh Hendrix situation. I'm not entirely sure if I did a video on it. I know I was planning one, but things were getting pretty busy around that time, so it might have ended up slipping through the cracks, and by the time I got around to it, everybody had already said the very obvious thing, where it's like, yep, there is very obviously black fatigue, case and fucking point. And then, because this happened at the same time where you had that track meet murder take place, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. It was a perfect parallel to draw for societal discontent, and to be completely honest, I don't know how that, maybe I just forgot. I'm not entirely sure how that lawsuit ended up being resolved, or if it has been. But in the case of Shiloh Hendrix, I was like, okay, cool. She used her words. It didn't get physical, and was clearly trying to de-escalate the situation by leaving the contentious space. There really didn't look to be any actionable charges to be laid. And then, lo and behold, this pops up that the woman who has raised $800,000 online charged after calling a kid. We're not even entirely sure it was the kid. It was definitely directed at an adult, and even still, you're charging people. And we'll look at the charges here because they're absolutely insane, and a little thing called the First Amendment is probably going to supersede these fucking superfluous charges to begin with. But this is what's important. Protecting instigators, huh? All right then. Minnesota. Oh, okay. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Prosecutors filed misdemeanor disorderly conduct charges Tuesday against a woman identified as Shiloh Hendrix, accused of repeatedly using a racist slur towards a black child at a Rochester playground. I remember that there was a lot more to this situation, hence why I wanted to do a video on it, because the way that she was getting pilloried, it's like, oh, look at somebody, a crackhead with somebody else's kid, and it's like, no, I'm in actually like a loving relationship, and I'm still with and married to the father of this child that I was trying to defend from somebody else's unreputable behavior. An incident that drew a national outrage, and the woman has since used, said that she used to raise more than $800,000 online. Yeah, what about that murderer who went into somebody else's track meet tent and shanked a kid? How many millions of dollars and how many messages of support that said something along the lines of kill Whitey were attached to all of those pledges? I'm just wondering there. Criminal complaint alleges that a defendant wrongfully and unlawfully engaged in offensive, obscene, abusive, boisterous, or noisy conduct, or in offensive, obscene, or abusive language that would reasonably tend to arouse alarm, anger, and resentment in others. How do you think that charges filed with that justification would somehow supersede the First Amendment? That obviously fails the Brandenburg test. And you may not like said words. You might think that the hard R is a little bit too caustic for our ears to hear. But is it illegal? Absolutely not. So the viral video of the April incident, in which a woman admitted to using a racial slur, has been viewed millions of times. The footage shows a man confronting her for directing the slur at a child, and responded by, repeating the term and raising her middle finger. By Tuesday, Hendrix has collected more than $800,000 on the Christian fundraising site Give, Send, Go, because I think she got booted off of GoFundMe, not the little track meet murderer. He was allowed to raise all of his funds on GoFundMe. Hilarious. Much of it, yes, after the charges were filed, with a goal of $1 million. June update, she dismissed criticism as silly misinformation. Yeah, exactly. Even if we want to go ahead and take Newsweek and a lot of the mainstream media's recounting of this situation at face value, the only thing that was done was words were said. Yeah, you want to mischaracterize it as saying, oh yeah, she said this to a kid, couldn't catch the evidence on that one. But they're still words at the end of the day. That's it. There's nothing to this. But apparently, according to a Minnesota Prosecutors office, no, she needs to be brought up on charges, misdemeanor charges. Okay, it's not like she's going to jail or anything like that. I think the full penalty for this would theoretically be, yes, Hendrix is charged by summons with 3 misdemeanor counts of disorderly conduct, which is fucking ridiculous, each carrying up to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Authorities listed a Rochester address, but noted that she may have relocated. Police attempts to contact her were unsuccessful, and the court records indicate she is representing herself. Yeah, because all she needs to do is just pull out a pocket version of the United States Constitution and go, okay, yeah, that first one right there, okay, see you later. As it shows right here, and if the picture on the left doesn't quite make a lot of sense, I got a video on that situation coming out tomorrow. There was just a lot of stuff that ended up superseding in importance that came out today. But yeah, one of these two, yes, was just charged and may go to jail. Take a wild guess. Exactly. One can go ahead and play a victim card again. Got a little bit of update on that one where, oh yeah, after this attack took place, you're getting a lot of racist backlash to that. And it's like, hardy fucking har. Just about killed somebody. Meanwhile, you got a woman flipping off somebody trying to attention farm, but boy, did that blow up big time in April. But then, over in Scotland, you got some more egregious police overreach. Okay, a 14-year-old girl from Scotland charged after carrying weapons, allegedly to defend her sister from migrants. Yeah, this because, okay, we know the United Kingdom is a little bit lost, okay? And looking at Scotland and their migration... I guess that's the nicest way to put it. Migration problem has been running amok for a while, but this right here, this could be the Shiloh Hendrix moment for that problem. News is circulating that a Scottish 14-year-old girl was carrying weapons allegedly to protect her sister from an immigrant who reportedly harassed her. Yes, however, it was the teenager who ended up being arrested and charged, which is absolutely wild. 14-year-old girl has been charged in Dundee after police responded to reports of a teen carrying a bladed weapon near St. Anne's Lane. While official statements remain brief, accounts circulating across social media and community groups suggest that the circumstances may have involved the teenager intervening to protect her younger sister from immigrants. Yeah, and you can hear it. I'm not going to play the video because it's just mostly a lot of fucking Allahu Akbar talk and, well, 14-year-old flustered Scottish girl babble. It's not like it's going to be all that coherent, so I'll just save you guys and we'll just cut to the most important parts. So the police Scotland confirmed that officers were called to the Lochie area around 7:40 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, so it's still a reasonable hour after receiving a report that a female youth with a bladed weapon. Oh wow. Okay, a spokesperson said officers attended and a 14-year-old girl was charged in connection, adding that she will be reported to the relevant authorities, which is so fucking wild, dude, because here you go, man. Yeah, police have arrested and charged a 14-year-old girl after she was forced to brandish a knife and defend herself and her friend against a migrant who attempted to assault her nearing St. Anne's Lane in Dundee, Scotland. Yeah, because this is where we're at this point in time. Years and years of demoralization and demonizing men, stripping them of power and leaving the weak to govern, and the protection and safety of children left up to themselves because no human being is illegal. This is what happens, man. You strip the authority away from the protectors and the providers. You leave them with nothing but the responsibility. You make it so that, yeah, okay, if a guy was to intervene in this situation because some 30-something Middle Eastern rocket scientist wants to hang out with 12 and 14-year-olds, this is absolutely insane. Now, here's the thing. When I'm out on a run and I see, like kids playing or something like that, like I'll cross the road, I'll get the fuck out of the way. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Well, obviously they have nefarious and sinister plans running through their head, but I don't know, man. Do we really need to reinforce this whole leave the kids alone thing? Or maybe the incompatibility of these migrants has been elevated to a point where we just can't ignore it anymore. Because, okay, kids are having to walk around with bladed weapons, a knife and a hatchet in order to protect themselves from these aspiring doctors and scientists. You want to secede all of this public safety to the police departments, okay? And what exactly is at the top of their priority list? Well, that would be female UK police officers are going undercover and dressing in tight clothes to elicit catcalls from men so they can arrest them, according to the Telegraph. The Surrey Police Department is proud to announce that multiple men have been arrested for harassment. The females are reportedly pretending to be joggers to catch men catcalling. One of our officers was honked at within 10 minutes, then another vehicle slowed down, beeping and making gestures just 30 seconds later. That's how frequent it is, a certified dork and Inspector John Vale said. We get catcalled, we get honked at. People slow down just to stare or lean out the window to shout something. So it's so common. But it's harassment, and it needs to be recognized as such. This behavior is either a precursor to something more serious, or it's ignorance, and it's fixable. And that's where our interventions come in, to stop potential repeat offenders or help people understand what they're doing isn't okay. Unless, of course, you're going after a 14-year-old girl and you want to invite her to one of your 5 times daily prayer sessions. That's totally fine and all well and good. What a fucking joke. This is why nobody takes female police officers seriously. And this is why you're seeing what at least the media would deem as far-right opinions, but in actuality is just simple common sense. That's why you're seeing a rise in this stuff. People want to be kept safe. People want to be able to determine their own future, not secede their authority to fucking nitwits like this who think that catcalling is more important than making sure a bunch of vagabonds from distant lands can go rub up on grade schoolers. Fucking disgusting. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.